Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Why Is It Banned? Today we're going to be discussing, another 8 cards, at least another 8 cards, maybe 10. And we're going to go right into it with Mind Master. Now, when I first saw this card, I really liked it, but I had no idea why it was banned. But now I can kind of understand. Like many other cards we've talked about already, one of the biggest terms that could bring these cards back is once per turn. If this card said once per turn, you can pay 800 life points to tribute a psychic monster to get another psychic monster, it wouldn't be a big deal. However, you play this thing with another psychic type monster on the field, okay? What you can do is you can just pay, an obscene amount of, just pay like 4,000 or anything that's, you can't do 10 psychic monsters, but you can just get a bunch of psychic monsters, do a bunch of combos, a lot of crazy stuff, which is Mind Master. So without an errata, I don't see it really coming back. But that being said, it is one of the more balanced cards on the ban list so far. So next up, we have Morphing Jar, another jar. We have gone over Cyber Jar and Fiber Jar. This one is Morphing Jar. So both players discard their entire hand and draw 5 cards. I remember this card was like around for a little while actually. But yeah, it was always a really great card, but it's just way too powerful, especially in stuff like Dark World where you can just, get like a billion cards back with your discard. But anyways, all you really have to do is just set a bunch of cards, and literally just try and find a way to get it flipped with your opponent having a bunch of cards in their hand, and you just get basically free card advantage. It's a very powerful card that I don't really see coming back. Next up, we have Morphing Jar number 2. I didn't even realize the second Morphing Jar was also banned. Holy crap. It's a flip effect as well. You shuffle all monsters on the field into the deck, then each player excavates cards from the top of their deck until they excavate the same number of monsters they shuffled into their main deck. Special summon all level 4 or lower monsters in face down defense position, and the rest go to the graveyard. This card is really, really powerful. In fact, it's even, this is another one of those cards that just gets more and more powerful as the game progresses, and why we're never going to see it back. Because can you imagine your opponent like Quasars, they do all this crazy stuff, and you just Morphing Jar. I don't know if Quasar could counter that or not. I forgot what Quasar does, but I know it's really powerful. But the point is that very few cards that can't, just directly negate the effect stop this, because it's not like, oh, you can't be destroyed. It doesn't matter. You're literally, shuffling the monsters into the deck, which is just super powerful as it is. And on top of that, if you're playing this card, you could just play level 4 monsters. A lot of people don't just play regular level 4 monsters anymore. I mean, I know they will with ABC, but I play Cosmo, so, a lot of my ships or whatever just go to the graveyard instead. It's just a very powerful card. Not as bad as Morphing Jar 1, I'd say, but it's going to get just more powerful with time. Now we have number 16, Shockmaster. It's an XYZ. It takes 3 level 4 monsters, so the cost is really high, but the payoff is disgusting. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from the card to declare a card type, monster, spell, or trap. That type of card cannot be activated, and they can't activate its effects until the end of your opponent's next turn. This card is just disgusting. I mean, even if it wasn't until your opponent's next turn, it would be insanely powerful. Whenever I saw this card, it was just insanely powerful, especially with ABCs and any of the rank 4 engine decks that are so consistent and so able to get the XYZs out. You just get this card out, you declare monster effects, they can't activate any of their monster shit. If they have a bunch of back row, you declare traps, they can't do anything with those. And then if you declare monsters or spells, then they're even in more trouble next turn. If they draw something, they can't even do anything with it. It essentially, cuts out a third of your options just like that. It's way too powerful, and I'm glad it's gone, because holy crap, that card is way too overpowered. All right, this is Performapal Damage Juggler. I remember this card. Okay. I'm surprised this card got banned, actually. I remember playing it a few formats ago. During either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated that would inflict damage to you, you can discard this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. During either player's battle phase, you can discard this card, reduce the next damage you would take this turn to 0. You can banish the card from the graveyard to add a Performapal card deck to your hand, except the Juggler, and you can only use that effect once per turn. It's pretty disgusting, man. I mean, it basically searches for more Performapal cards, which are already pretty... Or, sorry, not Performapal. I kept saying Performapal. I meant Performage. You can search another Performage card, like the other ones that special summon themselves, which are already pretty freaking powerful. And then on top of that, you can just destroy anything that does damage to you. You discard and it's destroyed. It's a very powerful card. I honestly, if it went back to 1, it wouldn't be the biggest deal. Yeah, if it went back to 1, it wouldn't be the biggest deal, but... yeah, it's pretty good, though. Pretty good card. But I don't think... We have another Performage card. Performage. And I've never even heard of this one. Okay, if a Performage monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your Pendulum Zone, then take 500 damage. So, as a Pendulum monster, if a monster is destroyed by battle card, you can special summon from the Pendulum Zone pretty easily. And if our card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one Performage monster from your hand or deck, except Plush Fire. That's really powerful. Because, let's say you summon this guy, and you have another Performage monster, you can just keep, like, it's like another endless effect. You know, when it's not once per turn, like, let's say your opponent has an 1800 attack point monster, right? You play this card, you have another Performage monster, you can just special summon it, by the way, because if something's already getting destroyed, you can special summon it. But, anyways, the point is you have this and another monster, 1800 attack, yours has like 1500 or something less, you attack, you go into another, and then just get combos. It's pretty crazy, and it's obvious that the monster effect is why it was banned, not the pendulum effect, because special summoning itself, or the Pendulum Zone, is not that good, but obviously being able to just special summon Performage monsters from your hand or deck just endlessly is pretty ridiculous. Alright, so we got... Now we have a Performapal card. These are the ones I was talking about before, and this one is a very recently banned card, which is Performapal Monkey Board. Now what Monkey Board does is, unless you have a Performapal, for the Pendulum effect, unless you have a Performapal card in your other Pendulum Zone, this card's Pendulum Scale becomes 4 instead of 1. So basically it becomes 4 if you're playing it with other cards, but if you're playing it in its correct archetype, it becomes a 1 scale, which is really, really good. During your main phase, if this card was activated this turn, you can add 1 level 4 or lower Performapal monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use that effect once per turn. So it's a 1 scale. It lets you search just by playing it. You can search. So it's a 1 cost scale that lets you search. And then what's the monster effect? You can discard the card to reveal 1 Performapal or odd-eyes monster in your hand. If you do, reduce levels of the monster in your hand with the same name by 1 for the rest of the turn. That's not as good. The monster. So this is the opposite of the last Pendulum monster we went over. In this case, the Pendulum effect is definitely the reason why it was banned, because it's just so easy to have the 1 scale and then to just instant search. You play them, you search 1, you get your 8, you play them, instant, a 1 card Pendulum summoning card. It's disgustingly broken, and I agree, it was rightfully banned. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've gone over 7 cards. I guess we just have 1 more card, which is Redox, Dragon Ruler of Boulders. So I don't really want to explain every single one of the Dragon Rulers, but the point is that Dragon Rulers as a whole, they do way too many things, and when they came out, they were just the best deck ever. So obviously, you know, with the Dragon Rulers, they just could never come back because they were just way too good. You used them outside of their decks, but their own deck was just crazy insane. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Until next time.